I know you've been waiting for us to return, but bills have got to be paid. But nonetheless, we are back for another edition of the Mizzle and Dub Show, the last day of February 2022 before we hit the Irish spring month of March. I am Dub, he is Mizzle, and yes, we have indeed come back to give the people what they want.
Yes, we have to. Definitely have to.
So again, you can catch us on our YouTube page, and again, feel free to drop us comments of any topics you might want us to discuss because
I think I may have fixed the comment problem. So hopefully after we record this show and I upload it, we can take on comments because we really do need them and want them.
Yeah, like I said, any topic you want us to cover, let us know. And
even NASCAR.
Yeah, that means we might even have to step our NASCAR game, even though I will say how they made the LA Mausoleum into a track was very, very impressive. That was
very impressive. Very impressive.
So it just goes to show you can make something out of anything.
Anything.
But anyhow, even though it's 15 days past it, we never got a chance to discuss what was Super Bowl 56 in Inglewood, California.
Amazing Super Bowl. Amazing. I was impressed.
Which came out to be a second Lombardi trophy for the Rams. And the Rams now join your beloved Raiders and the Colts as the only three teams to win Super Bowl titles in two different cities. Of course, the Raiders did it as Oakland twice and LA. The Colts did it as Baltimore and St. Louis. Indianapolis and Baltimore, thank you. And now the Rams do it as St. Louis, and I technically say Inglewood, but they're under the Los Angeles name. But
whatever.
Nonetheless, as I always say, you are what city you play in. To me, you're the Inglewood Rams, and that's just not up for discussion.
Yeah.
Because SoFi Stadium is located in Inglewood, California, just like the Forum is blocks down the road. But anyhow, we thought it was going to be a competitive game.
Yeah.
And on our last show building up to it, we said the biggest matchup of that game was going to be in the trenches between who controls the line of scrimmage.
Correct.
And for the most part of that game, the Bengals offensive line was holding up their own. And breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, the Hall of Fame game will be featuring your Raiders against the Jaguars. So, as you say, bullshit football will get kicked off with your beloved Raiders as the Raiders and Jaguars will kick off the Hall of Fame game August the 4th in Canton, Ohio.
We are finally getting back love. Now we're still working on the referees.
National exposure love.
We're still working on the referees because the referees and whatever they feel, still Al Davis is running his team. So once we get that in check, I'll be full on board with the league loves us. But I'll take it.
Okay, now as we got that out of the way, back to the game. For the most part, the Bengals were holding their own because you were very rarely hearing Aaron Donald's name, Von Miller's name, and Leonard Floyd's game. And then, as we say, it is a tale of two halves, and you play 60 minutes for a reason. And I kept saying, and you agreed, eventually, one of those three men were going to have one-on-one with somebody on the opposite line.
Of course.
Didn't matter who it was, but at the end of the day, it was Aaron Donald's play that sealed the game against my beloved Niners to get to the Super Bowl, and it was Aaron Donald that, in a sense, sealed the Super Bowl.
Wasn't that like the same scenario, though? How Jimmy Garoppolo was going down and he just tossed the ball, but it was for an interception this time.
Yes.
That time.
Yes.
And then when he did the Joe Burrow, but it was an incomplete pass. I mean, the man is just one wrecking crew. And looking at the highlights, because I knew we were going to do a show, I wanted to do things and say some things. He was even getting through the double teams.
Correct.
When it got into his head that it was time to lock this game down, it was almost like he was doing what Muhammad Ali did in boxing. He was, rope-a-dope. And then when it's crunch time, he made his money. And double teams wasn't even stopping him. That man was determined. He wanted that ring bad. That was.
Well, you saw the passion on the sidelines.
Oh, yeah.
After the Bengals got up 7. And unfortunately, in my mind, as I'm watching the game, I'm saying, okay, well, if the Bengals get 7 off this interception, it could be curtains. But instead, they made him settle for 3. And I'm like, they're still leaving the Rams a chance. And eventually the Rams capitalized. But something that our good friend, the English professor, pointed out to me when he had talked to me on the last play that, of course, won the game for the Rams. LaMichael P. Ryan, can you make better of an effort to try and catch the ball, because the ball was near him, and if he would have dove to cut it, he would have had the first down.
Yeah,
because it was just 4th and 1.
Yeah,
to which, personally, I think the play on third and 1 that Aaron Donald did does not get talked about much on like the 4th down. The play on 3rd down where you stopped, I believe it was Mixon, was a tremendous, fantastic play.
Tremendous. Just
because I mean, Cincinnati was getting momentum.
Yeah,
He hits Chase on the long pass.
Yeah,
You were already at midfield, considering they only need 3 points to tie the game and perhaps send it in overtime. And then they make a stand. It's unfortunate because, as you and I were, going over this, watching the game, we kept saying, "Uh-oh," because before the unfortunate injury to Odell Beckham when he tore his ACL,
man,
it looked like
that guy.
It looked like Odell was on his way to perhaps having himself a big game, because the 2 catches he had were big plays.
Yeah.
I mean, the first touchdown, Stafford put it right on. You could not throw a better football than what Stafford did. Put it to where Beckham could get in, and just Beckham, who has tremendous hands, made the catch and almost bust out a long one before he tore the ACL. But as I've said, as you've said, Stafford is going to live and die with number 10.
How you not guard that man? I mean, you guard him, but how does he get? He gets so wide open. It's like how the defense doesn't find him. It's ridiculous how open he gets. I don't understand it. It's astounding.
I mean, there's great route runners, and Cooper Kupp is a fabulous, tremendous route runner.
Yes.
Knows the route tree, but it's just like, dude, within those first 5 yards, push. I mean, you're
allowed to touch.
Do some contact, do something. But it's like, he's going to him. He's not going to throw anybody else. He's going to look number 10's way. And it's like, it's coming, and you still can't stop it. But, I mean, at the end of the day, 32 teams have the dream, 14 qualify for the playoffs, but at the end, it is the Rams in their house hoisting their 2nd Lombardi trophy. And the Rams, some would say they sold their well-being to get that ring, because they paid a ransom to get Stafford. They paid a ransom to get Ramsey. They traded a ransom to get Von Miller.
It was make or break for them this year. For all what they did, the first round picks they gave up, and all these veterans they decided to get. If they didn't win it this year, I think a lot of movement would have been happening. It would have been some changes. But since they did win it, now what comes with winning the Super Bowl. Either you stay above water or you slowly
deteriorate.
You sink. I think they'll still be competitive. I don't know. It's going to be tough for that road for them to get there again. It's hard to get to 1, let alone get back to 2 and all that other stuff. So, but a very impressive game. I know we're talking about the Rams, but let's also talk about the Bengals. They were in this game.
They led. They had a lead.
Joe Burrow will be back. He had that taste, and it's like, I think he likes it. I mean, he's always been nothing but a winner since he's been in playing football. So the AFC is going to be real tough, because you still got the Bills. The Bills going to be tough. They're going to be there. Bengals going to be there. As much as I hate to say it and throwing up in my mouth saying it, the Chiefs are going to be there. I'm not going to toot my own horn. I don't know. I'll give the Raiders maybe next season, not this season coming up. But given what's going on in the other structure of the AFC, Lamar Jackson is still going to be there. Mike Tomlin is always going to be in the talks.
All he does is win.
Exactly.
And not to mention, you have this amazing talent in Inglewood named Justin Herbert, who's only going to get better. Oh my Lord!
I was getting there. And we can't count out the Titans. The Titans are always, and so the AFC is going to be hard. NFC, I have to see. Not even what Aaron Rodgers does. I said I wasn't going to freaking talk about Aaron Rodgers, but damn it, here we are.
Here we are.
It also depends on what Aaron Rodgers is going to do, and not necessarily because they've been getting bounced. Even when that year they were 13-3, and Tom Brady.
Here's the thing. Ever since Matt LaFleur has been there, he's done nothing but win 13 games a season. So I mean, they're winning, but of course when it comes to January, for some unstrange reason, and my team will take credit for 2 of those defeats.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed. One in blood fashion, and one as in I don't know how in the hell they won that day. I'm still to this day, and it's been a month past. I'm still trying to figure out how in the hell they won that football game, considering what I saw on the first drive of that game when Green Bay just went up and down the field and just said, just take it like a man.
Yeah. And
then only score 3 points. The remaining, I'm still mind boggled by that. But I mean, the AFC is definitely going to be in a log jam because of that you just previously mentioned, and of course the culture structure changing involving your team.
Yeah,
I mean the whole NFC really could be really wide open. Like literally anybody from that conference could possibly
take it,
go to the Super Bowl. Yeah. I mean, if Kyler Murray and the Cardinals have really kissed and made up, that is still that is still a talented team.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on in Seattle. This could be finally the end of the Pete Carroll era because things are just not going well. But as long as you still have number 3, you still have a fighting chance unless they trade him.
Yeah. Well, hell, not to jump in. Hell, if Washington gets a damn quarterback and with some consistency
with that defense,
exactly, and you get Chase Young, he's coming back with a vengeance.
Yes,
that young man is going to be wrecking havoc.
Him and Montez Sweat and Mr. Allen might be coming in a lot pissed off this upcoming season in the nation's capital.
And not to take away from the quarterback they have now, he's decent, but I don't think he's ready for that big time next level. But because they already said they're willing to do whatever it takes to get a good quarterback in there. So let's see what Washington does. And
I still don't like that.
Dallas. I don't know what's going on with Dallas. Dak Prescott is going to always put his team in a winning situation, but it's just something about them in the playoffs that just doesn't. It even goes back as far as with Tony Romo. It just something that always happens to them in the final seconds. Even like I said with Tony Romo with the botch was that extra point or a field goal botch.
It was I think it was.
I do know it was in Seattle, but it was a botch.
I want to say. I want to say. God.
I want to say an extra point because it was kind of close. They moved the extra point back.
No, this is way before that. This is when they were still kicking from the 2-yard line.
Yeah. So that's where they were at pretty much, I think.
Yeah.
But here nor there, something always happened to them when they're a good team. And
or in the case, the Dez Bryant catch that wasn't a catch, that was a catch.
Ooh, see, now we have a rule with that. But see, also what I say goes on what's going to happen with Dallas. What are you going to do with Amari Cooper? Michael Gallup is a free agent.
Correct.
And I believe are they a little over the cap? I believe they're over the cap.
They don't have much cap space. That's for sure.
So you got to see what you can do there. And honestly, quietly, I wouldn't sleep on the Eagles.
No,
not
they rallied to make the playoffs and just give Jalen Hurts some playmakers to throw to him, with the exception of Devontae Smith.
That kid's going to be spectacular. That kid's going to be awesome. I mean, I'm not counting him yet, but the kid's going to be good.
Give him some more targets other than Devontae Smith.
And a running game. Get him a running game. I mean,
I like Miles Sanders, and Miles Sanders.
I do too. He's not durable.
But again, as we always say, your best ability is availability, and he's not available enough. So yes, I would agree. If you can bring in a running back or draft one, do so to complement Miles Sanders.
Yeah.
Because again, when he's in there, he's good. When he's not,
you see it.
Asking a young quarterback to throw the ball 45 times a game, you normally are not set up to win like that.
Not in the NFC. AFC is built for a quarterback to throw 40 to 50 times a game. It's the way the NFL is going. But the NFC is structured.
But even then, as you say that, you and I, being football historians, that was the American Football League. It was
that was Al Davis.
Take what we want. We're throwing the ball down the field. See if you can stop it.
I got speed and I got a quarterback that can throw the ball. So
it was like screw the 4 yards in a cloud of dust.
It was running good.
I'm aiming. Everybody, go deep.
Running gun. Verticals all day.
Go deep, everybody.
4 verticals. Whoever's the fastest will get it. Offensive line, just hold. Build the wall.
Just hold. Yeah. don't hold, but protect. The quarterback is still standing upright.
Correct.
But I mean,
And one more team from the AFC. If the Colts get a quarterback that can be consistent, because they already have a defense.
Yes.
They already have a defense. And I think but the only thing that's going to mess him up is Gus Bradley does not blitz. He does not. And he's a good DC. And I'm glad what he saw. He brought out the best in some of the players in Vegas. But that your defense is easy to read. He has to change it up. But if the Colts can get a quarterback to go along with Jonathan Taylor, and they got to get over the hump with losing to the Jaguars in the last week of football. And that
I don't know about the Indianapolis Colts going to Jacksonville, Florida, but for some
it does not work.
Reason
it doesn't work.
They get into Jacksonville, and I mean,
forget how to play football.
I mean, Jacksonville is not Orlando. It is not Kissimmee. It is not Miami.
No.
It is not Tampa. No. It's not St. Petersburg. No. But for some reason, they go to the northern part of Florida in Jacksonville, and just for some reason, it's just like we've forgotten how to play football.
And it doesn't matter what the coaching staff is. This has been going on for a while. They just can't win in Jacksonville.
Even Jacksonville gave Peyton Manning problems when he was on the Colts. Yeah. That's how long
it's something about Duvall. It is just something about Duvall that the coach just cannot get jiggy with. It's crazy.
I still remember the one game where Jonathan Taylor, another player that should be in the damn Hall of Fame, but let's not get started on that. Fred Taylor, yes. Him and Maurice Jones-Drew
just ran
around through
it wasn't fair.
Circles on that defense.
It was not fair. It wasn't fair. Jesus.
And I mean, this is, Fred Taylor having 2 bad knees and was still running through that damn defense.
Thank you. But the jump back to the Super Bowl, beyond the game, I know I said I had no fight in the game. I was just for the free concert.
Free concert, yeah.
Lord have mercy, was at a free concert. And the funniest thing about the concert is they tried to replicate what 50 did with his first album. That boy was too swole for that. That was too swole. He was too swole for that.
Yeah.
And that wasn't, that's not fat shaming. 50 Cent is swole. That wasn't fat. That was muscle. Okay. And even if he was fat, the man got the right to be that. He didn't earn his way to be lazy.
Well, heck, he's enjoying all that power money.
Right?
he is enjoying getting paid by Ghost and Kanan and Book 2 and Tommy. So
and he still got BMF on the plate. And like you said, he still got Raising Kanan. And matter of fact, I just read that he's about to do something for Marvel here pretty soon. It's either Marvel or DC, one of the companies, but he's about to start getting that comic book money.
Yeah, Curtis stays paid. He's one of the few that really doesn't need to make out. He just does it for fun if he wants to.
Yeah. Well, that's almost like with Eminem. Eminem doesn't have to do another album as long as he wants to live, but he's doing it. And guess what? I'm here to tell you, I love when him drops an album. It's awesome. And I love when people decide to think, you know what? It's time to push Marshall Bruce Mathers III, but I want to see what I can get out of him. And as a fan, keep pushing them buttons because the man is 50 years old?
Damn near.
And he's still gassing like he.
Well, I'll just say this: the NFL's like, Marshall, please don't do that. And Marshall's like,
what?
I have a song on my first album called "I Just Don't Give a Fuck." So,
and then he also has another song on that same album. The title "Still Don't
Give a Fuck."
I mean,
so he was going to do him.
What everyone do.
He did him. So us being hip hop heads and fans of the culture,
of course,
weren't surprised that he took a knee because that's just what he does.
Okay.
Andre Young, being the icon that he is, right. How dare you tell an NWA legend not to talk about law enforcement? Now he easily could have brought Yella and Ren and Cube, and they easily could have sung their classic hit, "Fuck the Police." They could have
kept it for the family. It's family entertainment. You know,
they easily could have done that, but he didn't.
No, he didn't. And
yes, he did say "Still Not Loving Police" when he did the climactic finale of "Still DRE" at the halftime show.
Up on his leaf, still not.
Okay, so that's who Dre is. I mean that's how NWA got on the map by talking about real life stuff that was happening in South Central and Watts and Compton and all that. So those of us that are fans knew that this is what Dre's going to do. Either you accept it or you don't. Yeah. Okay.
I'm all for halftime shows like this. No more of the other gibberish, all that. Keep it like that. But now, what's interesting now, Pepsi has withdrawn their
sponsorship
to the halftime show. So the NFL is going to have to find somebody that wants to spend, I think it was like 50 to 60 million, just to own the rights to the halftime show. But what I also found that nobody on that stage got paid by the NFL or by Pepsi. Everything that was done on that halftime show came out of Dre's pocket.
Well, Dre's not hurting for money at all. So
please. Wait, he could have stopped once Eminem start rapping.
Yeah.
Once Eminem start rapping, he got, because Shady Records is /Aftermath.
Yes.
Then 50 Cent G Unit /Aftermath. So, he sold beats, to Apple, dollar bills. He ain't hurting.
Not at all.
Not at all. Okay, so to switch shifts, we're about to turn into what we like to be is haters towards the Los Angeles Lakers. So
you get blown by 28 to the New Orleans Pelicans in your own gym.
Then your own fans are booing you.
I didn't know Laker fans could actually boo. I didn't know that. I didn't know that was. I didn't know that was actually possible.
I'm here to tell you, somebody that's anti-Southern California sports. I love my family down in Southern California. That's about the only thing that Raymond would love about LA is I got a bunch of family down there, and we solid. But the teams
can't do it.
Nah, bro. So I'm loving what's going on in LA, and we have a few subscribers that watch our show that's going to watch this. You can comment now, and guess what? I don't care. Your team sucks. Point blank, period. Y'all got the
hey, and congratulations on that Disney championship in the bubble. At 4 months off.
Asterisk championship. But wait, Laker fans, well, we played the season and it got shut down. It's not our fault that it got. I don't want to hear that. You're a bubble champion. Just like I say, the Spurs championship got an asterisk on it because they didn't play a full season of basketball. And then if you ask me this question, Raymond, if the Sixers or Warriors would have won that, would you still call? Yes. You play a full, even if the Giants didn't play a full season and won their championships. They're half champions. They didn't win it the proper way. So there, live off that. That's how I feel. Screw him.
He also feels that way, even though he wasn't born yet. He still feels that way about the '82 Washington Redskins. They only played 9 games and won the Lombardi. That's how he felt. And he wasn't even born. He wasn't even in mom's womb yet.
9 games? Come on, man. But I get it. It still says championship. So whatever.
Yes. In the record book, it will count as a championship for that team. But they've lost 5 out of their last 6. They're 27-33. They are 9-18 on the road. Haven't even won 10 games on the road yet, which is rare.
So wait, you mean to tell me how many games on the road have the Thunder won? Because they only got 19 wins. OKC
has more wins on the road than the Lakers by 1. The Thunder are 9-20 on the road.
Okay.
The worst road team, the worst road team in the West stats wise is the Rockets. They're 7-26, followed by the Kings at 7-22.
You know what I feel for that organization? I knew I talked bad about the Kings, this, that, and the third, but I really feel real sad for that organization. I don't know the guy that's running it. He must not know nothing about basketball, or somebody's leading him in the wrong direction, especially with that trade. Oh, man.
You know, and Sabonis is a fantastic talent.
Oh yeah, of course. I'm not taking her from that talent, but point guards ain't coming a dime a dozen like this kid right here they traded away.
No. And I said it on draft night. I said that might be the best pick the Kings might have made in a long time. Getting Tyrese Halliburton.
Long time.
And he wanted to be on the team and fix the culture and get rid of this losing.
That players that want to be there get traded. I never understand that. It's crazy. Just real crazy. You know what? I'm really about sick and tired of just let the man be retired. Tired of Tom Brady.
Oh,
Tom Brady's talking.
They're still talking about that, huh?
Mm-mm.
But I mean, it's just and not to throw shade, because yes, as we much enjoy watching the Lakers just blow up, trust us, we are not happy that our beloved Warriors blew a 21-point lead last night to the Dallas Mavericks.
Oh, well, let's get there next.
Okay. As much shade as we talk about the teams we don't like, trust me, the teams that we love get it way worse.
Oh, big time.
And I'm sorry, blowing a 21-point lead is
not acceptable.
Is not acceptable. Especially with the way they were playing the first 3 quarters.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, you lose by 6, but
yeah, that's a big point swing right there. For you to be up 21 and to lose by 6, that means you were not scoring. You turning the ball over, and your defense is not doing what they're supposed to do. The Warriors just missed Draymond Green. That's just point blank period. This team does not operate proper without him on the floor.
Correct. And like Greg,
Kerr has said it. Everybody that's on this team has said it. They missed it. You can clearly see it, and you clearly saw it in the finals when we lost that finals that year. When that man is not on the floor, he keeps everything glued together. It's
and something Greg Papa said this morning on KMBR, and I do believe him. They're tired.
Oh, but they've been playing enough basketball for the past 7-8 years.
We are in the dog days of the NBA season because we're going into March.
Yeah,
and the playoffs start in April.
Yeah. The Warriors have been playing basketball for a long time.
And like we kept saying, okay, people tend to forget. They're only 2 years removed from being in the finals for 5 straight years.
That's what I'm saying. They're tired.
But
that's fresh as Clay.
Yes.
And they're moving in slowly.
Yeah, but you're getting Wiseman back at the right time.
Oh, yes.
Draymond is starting to practice now, because we kept saying, Don't rush Draymond Green. Let him take whatever time he can take because you want him for the stretch run in April, May, and June. That's where you want him.
Exactly.
Don't rush the process. But when you get outscored 33-13 in the fourth quarter,
I said,
and kudos must be given to Jason Kidd and his staff and the Mavericks team because they just came out and bludgeoned them in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And by no means is Dallas a slouch.
No.
They are 11 games over 500. They're 36-25. Okay. Warriors are still in good shape. They're 43-18.
Yeah.
Okay. Phoenix more than likely will be the number 1 seed in the playoffs, rightfully so. They've earned it, but they're 0-2 since Chris Paul has been injured.
And they lost
again.
Well.
And on a freak turnover by Crowder after he gets the rebound, just throws it into the first row, to which they had a timeout and decided not to use the timeout.
Oh man!
Now, if that was the strategy by Monty Williams, okay, that's a strategy. You live with it. You take the L, and you just be like, okay, all right. It is what it is. Now let's talk about your other team, your beloved 76ers. So it's only 2 games in, but they've scored 132 and 125 respectively in beating the Timberwolves and the Knicks.
And that's the thing right there. They beat the Timberwolves and the Knicks. Not saying that the Timberwolves, they're not what they used to
be.
They're bad. The Knicks, they're like this because one minute they're here, the next minute they're doing this, and then they just kerplunk, and then they find a way. So I want to see them play a good quality team before I start saying, "Woo, we're here, we're there." And I'm not Kendrick Perkins talking about we're about to go win the chip because we ain't played really nobody yet with Harden. I already told you a couple of days ago, the team that I fear the most is the Bucks. And they're the defending champs, and they're not even getting talked about. But all they're doing is going out there winning games.
And they're the number 5 seed. Go figure.
See what I'm saying? So I love but see, this is what I also told you when we were conversating. Harden did this with the Nets when he was happy. So what he's doing with Philly, I'm not shocked that's what he's doing because when he wanted out of Houston, first night he played with the Brooklyn Nets, he had a triple-double. He was playing good until something happened in the locker room that we don't know about that probably be brought out later on in life. So, and again, when he was in Houston, then he have all that weight. But the moment he got to Brooklyn, he lost all that weight. Then he gained the weight again because he wanted out. Now he's in Philly, he lost all that weight. As long as he continues to play like he's playing now, I have no problem. My issue is when he doesn't get happy. Now you're hurting the team because we traded away players that fit the nucleus of where we were going. So as long as he's playing the way he's playing, because Maxey, I've been saying that kid's been getting better each year he's been in the league. Him playing with Harden is only going to get better. You saw that yesterday when he was in the game. The kid is amazing. You're not going to stop that pick and roll with Embiid and Harden. It's ridiculous. It works. And how it does work is because Embiid does not have to be down low as much as I want him to be down low because it can't stop him. Either he's going to score or you're going to foul him all day. And you saw that yesterday. I think he went to the free throw line like 35 times or something like that, somewhere between the 25-30 range. And we still got Boston is still our Achilles heel. Can't beat them no matter who's on the court. So still got to see when KD decides to ever come back.
To answer your question, he went to the foul line 27 times, hit 23 of them.
There we go. See, so that's a plus. The bench, I'm still concerned about the bench because, like I said, we traded away some of our quality bench players just to get Harden. So I like what I see, but I need to see it against a good quality team. Now, if they do this against a good quality team and it's impressive, like they've been winning, then I have hope. But then again, they were up 3 games to 1 against Atlanta.
Well, as we always say, when you know your team, you know your team. And to answer your question, their first big test against a quality team will be against the top 2 seeds in the Bulls and the Heat in March.
Here we go. See, now we'll come back and do a show after one of those games, and then I will give you my honest assessment of them. I hope one of those games are on TV because, it's hard to catch Philly on TV. They put them on TV every once in a while on prime time. So I'll have to check the highlights and see how it is and chime in. But yeah, when they play those 2 teams, then I can honestly give you my true feeling about the team right now. But I'm impressed right now because I'm just not looking at what Harden's doing. I'm looking at what everybody's doing around him. And Maxey, man, the kid is going to thrive because he's going to be open a lot. He's going to be the Steve Kerr, like Pippen and Jordan, how they ran it. So Kerr was that third option. Max is going to be that third option now. And I need Tobias Harris to get out of whatever funk he's in because he looked like shit Sunday. So
and you've always been very high in Tobias.
Yes, I like Tobias. He's a good basketball player. He plays defense, and pretty much when he's down in the post, he's unstoppable when his game is on. So
I can always hear the voice of Bill Walton. Get into the post. Feel the post. But I mean, it's become a loss because I've cried for it. You have been cried for it. Like, damn it, Embiid, get in the elbow and go to work.
You're too big. Like I said, either they're going to let you score or they're fouling you. There's just get the 6 fouls.
You're getting the hack treatment is what you're getting.
And they're not going to purposely foul you because you can hit free throws. He's a high 80, 90% free throw shooter for a big man.
He can hit his free throws for a big guy. So it's like pick your poison, if you will.
Yeah. But yeah, just continue to play the way they play. Run the pick and roll. I mean, it worked. It's working. And find a way to keep Harden happy. I don't want to see fat Harden at all while he's wearing a Sixer jersey. So I didn't want him, honestly. I did not really want him.
No, you didn't.
I did not want James Harden because it's players that forces their way out of situations and make a big bad deal about it. If you're not happy there, still be professional. Talk behind the doors. Look, I'm not happy here. I ain't gonna cause a problem. I'm gonna go out here and still play this game of basketball, but do know I want out. Let's make it happen.
Talk to my agent.
Yeah. But instead of just gaining weight, faking injuries, all this, that, and the third, that I want players, I always said it, even in all the sports that I like, I want players who want to be here, not to come here to collect a check and you think you have to be here. Because to me, if you're just coming here on that, your heart is not into winning. So that's my take. So in a couple of days, after they play those teams, we'll get that fair assessment of the Sixers. But right now, I'm happy in the direction they're going, even though it's with Harden. But talk to me in the playoffs, because they always play this way in the regular season. It's when they get into the playoffs is where it's like the Colts going to Jacksonville.
So. Oh, back to that reference. But that is a very true, strong reference. But, I mean, the situation is what the situation is. And the only thing you do is just play with what you got and try to make the best of it. With that said, you always want to see where they're at and what the feel is for a team going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
And right now you got the Miami Heat are probably the quietest number 1 seed you don't know about.
Because they only the media talk about the Brooklyn Nets and Harden and my Sixers. And that's about it. You know, and like I said, the Bucks are defending champs. They're playing good basketball, and they're not even getting talked about. Who's number 2 seed? Who's number 2 seed in the East?
The Chicago Bulls.
And all DeMar DeRozan's doing is just playing lights out.
Playing like an MVP.
Oh my goodness.
And Lord help them when they get Lonzo and Levine and Caruso back.
Thank you. So the East starting to get a little look good in the East right now, and I'm liking it.
And not to mention the baby Cavs are the number 4 seed, and they're not getting any.
And they came from the bottom.
Yes.
First half of the season.
Yes.
And just been playing great basketball. This is what I love about when it comes around this time. The teams you don't expect to be there, it's starting to get there. It ain't gonna be easy. So that's what I'm saying. When the Sixers start playing those teams, I want to see how they match up against them, because you're going to see them in the playoffs. So,
and kudos to JB Bickerstaff. He has done a fantastic job with that squad. Oh my goodness. And lo and behold, I did not know Kevin Love was still on the Cavs.
Quietly, but he's having a quiet season.
Yeah. But I mean, when you got Allen and LeVert, you know, that and Mr. Sexton, that certainly helps, turns the tide, and hopefully that's a team Cleveland can be proud of.
Yeah.
And Saturday, as you mentioned, it was upset Saturday in the world of college basketball. My
Top
goodness.
6 teams all lost. Wow. On some good games too. Good game.
Yeah. Arkansas beat Kentucky.
That was a good one.
Michigan State beats number 4 Purdue. Tennessee beats Auburn by 5. Auburn was ranked number 3.
Yeah.
TCU with the ups over Texas Tech.
Just
insane. Colorado beats number 2 Arizona.
That was a shocker to me.
Baylor, the defending champions, beats number 5 Kansas by 10.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, the big one,
St. Mary's,
the Gales beat Gonzaga by 10.
And if I'd have known that game was going to be there, I'd have found a way to get down there to watch it, because that's not that far away from us. Well,
no, it's not.
And the P's, that's what, about a 30-minute drive from parents' house, if that. A little bit past Napa.
Yeah, Moraga, California. Yeah. And I mean, their gym only seats 3,500, but it made it sound like it was about 20,000 there. But I mean,
it sounded real big in there.
No, but the Gales have always given Gonzaga fits. It's always been good matchups.
Yeah,
whenever these two would get together,
especially around this time. Around this time, this is where it picks up. So yeah, that was a good game. Oh man, great game,
tremendous game. Which kind of shows you what used to make college basketball so special was just the rivalry and the matchups, especially in conference play. You don't get that much nowadays because it's all about one and done and how much money I can make.
Yes.
Getting to the next level.
Yes.
And now to a subject I really don't want to talk about, but it has to happen. Of course, normally around this time, I would be happy because, as you would say, there'd be some bullshit baseball going on right now.
Sir, yes, sir.
Which was supposed to happen back on February the 26th, but of course, the owners and players are still far away. And Manfred wanted to open his mouth saying today would be the deadline to where either we would get it done or there would be a delay. So they already canceled spring training games up to March the 8th.
Yeesh.
Now they have said that they're willing to miss a month of games. Now, even before all this crap happened, I did say probably not until May is when they start the season.
You did. This is true.
I still feel that way. The issue, of course, luxury tax, the base salary, service time for minor leaguers, and arbitration. As some people say, it's the billionaires versus the millionaires. Then Walker Buehler said what he said about, no, it's basically the players versus the owners. Of course, the one that suffers the most, of course, is the lingering baseball fan. Now, of course, I know baseball is not as popular as it once was, as it used to be. It's not the national pastime it used to be. That's been taken over by football, hands down.
Yeah.
At heart, I'm a baseball purist. At heart, I'm a baseball fan. It's the game I played in my youth. It's the game I played as a kid. It's the game my grandfather introduced me to. So, love and affinity for baseball to me. But you took a damage in 1994, when you canceled the World Series. And in a sense, you killed the franchise that was the Montreal Expos that eventually turned into the Washington Nationals. That was the Expos' best chance to possibly save baseball in Montreal. We know the story, what happened. You canceled the World Series, and then it just slowly deteriorated and just killed that franchise.
Yeah.
And I know the few times the Blue Jays have gone back to Olympic Stadium in Montreal to play a couple exhibition games, you see kind of the love for Montreal baseball again. Who knows what would happen if they were expanded and the Expos were boarding in? Because obviously you would need a new stadium, because obviously Olympic Stadium is old, it's antiquated, it is what it is. But with that said, there has to be a medium, there has to be a balance somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, I get it. You do miss a lot of games in the Midwest and the East because of snow and the weather. I get it. I understand it. But at the same time, the baseball fans that you do have left, that you have remaining, I'm like, dude, just get a deal done.
Yeah.
Stop lollygagging. You guys should have been meeting every day since the CBA expired back in December, not wait till okay. We're hitting because that. See, this is what sports organizations should do. When you know that your CBA is about to expire, the day of or the day after it expires, y'all need to be having meetings every day until y'all come to a resolution. And if that means lock the doors and staying there damn near all day to get a deal done, do so. There have been many midnight hour deals struck when it comes to trades and things of that nature. So it's like, you know what? If you lock yourself in there for 12 hours at least, then do so. But get a deal done, because the only thing you're doing is you're hurting the fan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, if they really mess up to where there's a certain game I'm trying to go to, and if y'all mess that up, I am not going to be a happy fan, because it was already postponed because of the pandemic. So I get that. But now, the date's been set for July the 30th. So dang it, get a deal done so I can come to this retirement ceremony in San Francisco in July. Get it done, dagnabbit.
Yes. Yes.
And that's all I got to say on the CBA part. Just get a deal done so there could be some baseball.
Yeah, I don't too much watch baseball until October anyway. So
You're still on a football draws, but hey, in a month and
I do watch some games, but I don't really pay attention until, of course I watch the Giants, but I really don't pay attention to baseball until October.
When they really get in the thick of it. I get it.
Where it's more entertaining for me.
But if the team is winning, he's fully invested. Don't get it twisted.
Of course.
If they're in the pennant race, he is fully invested. Don't get it wrong.
Even if they're not, the pennant race is where I really start getting interested in there. But if the Giants are in there, you damn right. It's all the games. Even if I'm at work, I'm on the phone.
But even with that said, there's still football returning, because the once and now is again, the USFL will be making its return back in April, and you can see it on Fox and you can see it on NBC.
Well, man.
Which makes me wonder, will Peacock stream it as well? But
there's a possibility.
There's a few original teams that are coming back: the Tampa Bay Bandits, the Michigan Panthers, the Philadelphia Stars, the New Jersey Generals. Although it's just now New Jersey, not the New York, New Jersey Generals. But for those that are still having those football withdrawals, at least you'll have the USFL to work with. And then in the next year, the Rocks version of the XFL returns. And now they're in cahoots and making a deal with the NFL. Not necessarily be a developmental league, but I guess to go with rule changes and stuff like that. And now circling back into the NFL, and as you said yesterday, just leave the damn game alone. There's now speculations about there might be another change to the overtime rule.
Just make it like college did. Forget it. That's what you want to do. Do it like college. That if they want everybody to touch the ball, do college. Fair and square. Sick of it. You've been playing this rule. You put your defense out there, make a damn stop. Clear, simple. Win the toss. If you don't win the toss, make a stop. But if you can't, if you want to bitch and moan about how it's playing, then turn it to straight college. Then where everybody touches the ball. If they score a touchdown, cool. Make the team go for 4 downs. That's point blank, period. Stop them in 4 downs. No field goal, period. Everybody should be happy. I think it's ridiculous, but hey.
If they go the college route, do not put the damn ball at the 25-yard line. It's the NFL. You have to drive the length of the goddamn field. That's just how I feel. You're in big boy territory. Or, like I said, if you want to do it like this, then do it like this. Only for the playoffs. 15-minute period. Just like basketball. Whoever scores the most wins the damn game.
I'm all for that too. More football. I don't care about more football. Cool with it. But you set the rules. I understand, like, you're complaining now. How long have you been playing football? How long have this overtime rules been implemented? Now, all of a sudden, since you think you should have won the game, you think you should get an opportunity?
Because you couldn't stop a team in 13 seconds for a game-tying field goal. Now fans are like, we are not talking about this dang rule if the Bills make a stop in 13 seconds.
Facts.
We're not talking about this if the Bills didn't decide to squib the kick, which they should have, and not just kick it in the air, to give Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs, 13 seconds to make 2 amazing plays to set up Harrison Butker for a field goal. We're not talking about this. Okay. You didn't see the Chiefs piss and moan in the AFC title game. They won the toss, they got overtime, threw a turnover, Cincinnati kicks field goal, Cincinnati wins. You didn't hear the Chiefs complain.
Nope.
You did not hear Chiefs Kingdom cry about the rule. Both teams touched the ball. Chiefs made a turnover. Cincinnati did not. And I like Bills Mafia. Bills Mafia is some of the best passionate fans that there is in the NFL.
Too, but you know.
Doing the Dudley Boys in cold-ass weather, shirtless. If that's you, that's you. Personally, me, I wouldn't do that because I like to stay warm. And I don't like dealing with snow anyway. But Bills Mafia stands out. They are tremendous fans. They're passionate fans. They're knowledgeable fans. But the fact of the matter is, you had 13 seconds. And you decided to kick the ball and not squib it to make them take time off the clock to where they might have 1 play. Instead, you gave them 2. Now, just to cover all the final coaching carousels in the NFL, Rams offensive coordinator and former San Diego State quarterback Kevin O'Connell is officially the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings. Matt Eberflus is officially the head coach of the Chicago Bears. Of course, we know Josh McDaniel is the new head coach of your beloved Raiders. Mr. Khan decides to bring back Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson will try to make things right in the city of Duval and coach of the Jaguars, to which I knew you were kind of skeptical on that because from the reports that we read, it looked like everything was leading towards Byron Leftwich becoming the head coach of the Jaguars, but that did not happen. Dennis Allen will have a tough task in replacing Sean Payton in New Orleans. But some good news for Jameis Winston. He is up and running since his surgery.
Yes, I've seen that. He's looking good.
That's good for him. Bill Dumal, the former Bills offense coordinator, is now running things with the Giants. To which I think that was a steal.
Yeah, solid.
Which is only gonna, I think, help perhaps Daniel Jones, because I mean Daniel Jones has talent. I think he just needs the right coach to get it. Of course, Lovie Smith gets another chance. He will now be the head man in Houston with the Houston Texans. Nathaniel Hackett, the former Packers offensive coordinator, will don the John Elway logo, as you like to say, and be the head coach of the Denver Broncos. And of course, that brings up the whole quarterback's name we don't want to mention. Will he go to Denver? We don't know. And another piece of my coaching staff leaves the year before. Robert Saleh goes to take the Jets, and Mike McDaniel, God be with him, in Miami as he takes on the Miami Dolphins head coaching job. Yes, you want the opportunity to coach in the NFL. I just don't know if I want to do it with Stephen Ross as my boss, given the situation that is ongoing between Stephen Ross and Brian Flores. But kudos to the Pittsburgh Steelers, because this is just what the Pittsburgh Steelers do. They add Brian Flores to their coaching staff to be the assistant coach and to coach the linebackers and be a special consultant. So that bodes well for the Steelers.
Yes.
Is there anything else we need to touch in down the line?
I think we pretty much touched everything. I'll end the show with my closing with the flipping of the calendar tomorrow. So you know what that means for us college basketball fans. March Madness, baby. That means basketball all day, all night, tournaments here, there, tournaments there, to set up that good old square tournament, which they call the NCAA championship. So I'm looking forward to the college basketball, because as we just said a few in a segment ago, is that college basketball is starting to get that feel again, you know, even though with the one and dones, but it's starting to give that excitement again, especially with all the upsets. So I'm looking forward to March Madness. And then one thing, Canelo's fight coming up here pretty soon.
Yes.
Let's see what he's going to do with that and his next opponent afterwards, you know, because he's starting to take over this boxing thing, and it's starting to get real interesting. I do not want to see Triple G fight again, but it looks like the deal is already signed for him to fight Triple G after this fight. So I want to see what he's going to do after Triple G, even though I'm not looking forward to that fight, but I will watch it because I am a Cinnamon Canelo fan. So yeah, so pretty much March Madness, and also intrigued to see what baseball is going to do. I don't see no deal happening here anytime soon. I think it's going to go farther more than what they're talking, because somebody wants to get paid and somebody's not willing to pay. So we'll see what wall gets broken first.
Well, to answer your question, he is fighting Dimitri Bivol, and this is a light heavyweight championship fight. Of course, as we know, currently Canelo is Cinnamon 4 belts, and could possibly become Cinnamon 5 belts, because the last time he went to light heavyweight, he dethroned a former lightweight heavyweight champion in Sergey Kovalev, who, let's be honest, Kovalev is past his prime and really should hang up the gloves. But
totally, because he looked horrible in that fight with Cinnamon.
Yeah,
I mean, Canelo, lightweight go to, if I want to say it went the distance, but Cinnamon could have ended it at any time.
Yeah, he could have, but you know, this is
give the people what they want.
Give the people what they want. I'm like you. The Canelo Triple G has played his course, because it should have happened maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I get why. I mean, it is two marquee names. It is, you know, the two best middleweights of the last 5 years going at it. So I understand why boxing wants it. I understand why Eddie Hearn wants it, since now Canelo supposedly is under the Eddie Hearn banner after leaving Golden Boy. Of course, that was an ugly divorce, as we all know. We already covered. We already covered that. It'll be interesting to see, but I will close with this. Now, very rarely do we ever talk political stuff on the show, because I despise everything that there is about politics from both sides and all sides. I don't like talking about it, but I will say this to Alexander Usyk, Vasily Lomachenko, Dr. Steelhammer, and Vitaly Klitschko. God bless y'all for taking a stand and defending your flag against Russia, because you are literally putting everything on the line. Your status as Hall of Fame boxers, as the Klitschkos are, your status as being 1/3 of the World Heavyweight Championship, to which Alexander Usyk is, who defeated Anthony Joshua in a real good fight. And then, of course, Vasily Lomachenko, tremendous fighter, tremendous champion, one of the best amateur backgrounds you'll ever come across. But for them to literally put everything on the line, not exactly to, well, almost to the degree of what Muhammad Ali did by refusing to go to Vietnam. And was basically stripped of the title in his prime and almost lost everything. For those 4 men, even though the Klitschkos have been long retired, but I believe Vladimir is one of the mayors.
Yes.
Of one of the cities in the country of Ukraine. The capital. But I mean, for those 2 current boxers, in Usyk and Vasily, pretty much in their prime of their physical peak of their athletic career, to basically just stop everything and basically do what Pat Tillman did. I just salute them and applaud them, and God be with them, and God be with Ukraine. That's all I can say.
Amen.
So, with that said, this has been another edition of the Mizzle Dub Show. We surely hope you enjoyed. Like we said, if you have comments of any subject you'd like for us to talk about, that is within reason. Please let us know in the comments. We thank you for subscribing. We thank you for watching. And we will try to be more consistent with our shows, but it's hard with the work schedule sometimes, but we will definitely try to put out more shows in the upcoming months.
I don't think it's more of the work schedule. I think it's more of when I come home, you're getting, well, we're both lightweight coming home around, I get home about 11:30ish. And then you're at work. And then when I get up from my little slumber nap, you're trying to go to sleep. So this is kind of almost like trying to just pin it together, together. But we'll figure out a schedule. We'll be, like I said, more consistent. We're going to probably have to be talking about a lot of baseball closure. And then, we're ramping up with NBA playoffs.
And the tournament.
We got March Madness. So there's plenty to talk about. Free agency is coming up. The combine starts in a couple of days. So
yeah, the new league year starts March 16th.
So football, like I said, then we got the USFL coming up. So of course, I'm foreshadowing our schedule. We will definitely be doing a 420 edition of the Mizzle Dub Show. It'll be me 420ing while my brother just talking to the sports and giving us the dialogue. I'll be functionable though, people. But yes, thanks for sticking with us, and hopefully I got the comments allowed to you guys to comment, because I got a few texts talking about open up the comments, and I thought I did. So hopefully for those that want to comment are allowed to comment now. But yeah, thank you for chiming in with our goofiness and listen to our little spat on what we feel we call about sports.
Well, again, we decided to do this when there was nothing going on during the pandemic, and here we are almost 2 years in to doing this.
Yeah.
So we appreciate your support. We appreciate your subscriptions. Feel free to subscribe to the show. Like I said, if you're bored or need something to listen to and laugh during the long drive on the road, hey, feel free to give us a listen. because we try to give the people what they want.
You're darn right. Darn right. We'll get better professional as well too.
Yes. Still working on that aspect. But he is Mizzle. I am Dub. We say thank you for watching. And as always, it is 5 o'clock somewhere.
Oh, yes, it is. Peace out, brother.
Later.